Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. Bear with me. My allergies are acting up again. Well, Circle Box, how are you? I haven't seen you in a long time. Colada Hope, good morning. Slim's on vacation but came to say hi. Hey, Kiki. Hey, Tetra. How is everyone doing? I see Leo. JM made it in. Indy's in. Everybody else, I was chatting with you before the show. Big T coming in. How is it going? Yesterday was National Pet Day. As usual, I was the last to know. OJ's still looking for his gift. He's not going to get one. And of course, the minute that the music came on, he decided to start screwing with me, jumping on the desk here in the office. I got him out of the room, shut the door. Now I have it cracked, and he's on the dining room table, like staring me down, like at any minute he's going to come in here and pounce on me. But that's what happened. So if you hear that, you already know what's going on. Connie got up early today. Connie's having an iced coffee. So let's get to it. My goodness. Like when we were talking about on the show on Monday, and that wasn't about Trent, but Trent was brought up. There is a big problem with America's youth. I'm not saying it's going on in any of your homes because, well, you're here, so you're obviously very well aware. But there's a lot of parents that are not aware or just don't care. They are friends with their kids, or they just don't care. They live their own lives, and that's all there is to it. There have been some things that have been said the last week about Trent's family and some things that have happened within the family unit since his mother passed away. I'm not going to jump on that train. I'm sure after the death of his mother, things weren't happy in the home. And it's just my experience. The people with the harshest judgments normally have their own shit going on. They have their things that they should be judged on. That to me has nothing to do with what happened to Trent. Nothing. This is becoming more and more of like a Kylie Rodney situation in a way. You have all of these young people, I'm not going to say teenagers or the teens, kids. They were all in the House of Horrors, which is the Strother home. By the way, I have no problem saying the name. We have a list of all the kids. We know pretty much who was there. Why are the Strothers not making these people talk? Why are they not? Trent can't solve it for them. Trent was unconscious. He may not even know who taped him to the chair. I don't know. We need to know who bought the vodka, who made the initial putting him in the chair, taping him in, the spray paint, the condiments all over his face, who took the damn pictures. There's a lot to put together. Now, it sounds like I'm giving the police a pass. I am not. Because it seems to me that this was trying to be swept under the rug. And I can't stand that. I do think what we have on our plate right now is a very weak district attorney. We have been watching the trial of Letitia Stout. And we're listening day after day after day after day. All of the work that these investigators were doing. Could you imagine if that DA was like, nah, a jury will never buy that. Nah, I can't use that. Nah, go get me more. Nah, can't do it. I think that's part of the situation here. I think we have a weak DA. A very popular conversation in our country is the police won't do their job. The police won't make an arrest. They arrest all the time. But weak ass DAs say, I can't do anything with that. And the people go home. And they reoffend. And that is what happens. The last show we did was titled Worst is Not the First. And that's the truth because you have other kids, in this case, I'll call them kids, coming out saying that they too had things happen to them in that home. We don't know the ringleader. We can guess it's probably either Jackson or Edward. Those names are the ones that pop up the most. I look at the picture, and my first thought as a mama is arrest them all. Well, they all have parents. These parents all have money. They would be out in a few hours. But you know me, I don't care because a few hours of them sitting in even if it's the lobby of the sheriff's office, is going to scare the hell out of them enough that one of them's going to say what happened. Piece it together for them. The first to walk is the first to talk. Now, their attorneys aren't going to tell them that. Their attorneys are going to say, don't say a word. But it's maddening. Maddening. Arrest the parents too. Thank you, Connie. Start there and then work backward. Start with the damn parents. Get a hold of the Strothers. I think it's very telling that the Strothers, the Facebook page for their hardware store is gone. I think it's very telling that their website is gone. I have a feeling their Google reviews looked like shit real quick. Give them a dose of reality. Hey, if they go home in a few hours, yeah, we're going to be irritated, but we know bigger charges are coming. Yesterday, Brett Buffington, who's not going to go away, thank God for him, he posted this, and I put it on the community tab. He said, police in Glenn County have met with prosecutors as recently as last Thursday, weak-ass prosecutors if you ask me, to talk about charges in the Trent Lehrkamp case. Police continue to investigate, but a law enforcement source tells me not to expect an arrest this week. I think part of the problem is that they waited way over a week to serve a warrant on the House of Horrors. Do you really think that Ma and Pa Strother left the chair with the tape hanging off of it, sitting there waiting on the authorities? Of course they didn't. The parents are covering for these kids. Unless it got changed or something. I also can't find the Facebook page for Edward's mom, Angela the realtor. So people are feeling the heat. They are. Big time. Let me get to the comments, and I've got some awesome people to bring up to match all your awesomeness. Here we go. Diana, she said, Trent is not the first person that they have done this to, which is why there are no arrests. Someone is covering. Diana, I believe you are spot on because other kids are starting to talk. Now, we don't have their names, and I don't want their names. I have a feeling what's been going on in this house is a lot worse than what we suspected. They weren't just, I don't want to use the word picking. Don't want to use the word hazing because neither apply. They weren't just torturing Trent. He got it the worst, though. Britt Sadie was coming in with the facts. She left 2 comments I'm going to showcase today. By the way, if I showcase your after show comment, send me an email and you are going to find out why. Britt said, with that many kids there at the event, in quotes, at their house, I don't have a doubt at all to say the parents or any adults, they were aware. The Strothers were aware. They knew something was out of hand. There wasn't just 3 friends playing video games outside, lights, music, water, all on. What about the neighbors? Why didn't they call? The ties are showing themselves. You're telling me the neighbors didn't know there was a problem at that house? They know now. They know now. Britt went on to say, also for them to just be wanting to interview Trent. How the heck is that even admissible in court? Trent was on a ventilator in the ICU. Trent was unconscious. He was on life support, basically, like Britt said. He was clearly messed up during this crime. They need to interview the ones who got to walk away and drive away from this incident, in quotes. Trent needs to recover. 3 people that I guess have a conscience is the nicest thing I can say about them. They took Trent to the hospital. Maybe start with them. I think the most they're going to get is if they go after these parents. Let's start with alcohol was provided to the kids in the home. Let's start with that. Something's going on because, like I said, the Strothers, they have the hardware store, but they don't have a website and they don't have a Facebook page. I can just imagine what it's like when people walk into that store. Have a feeling they're not there for big home improvements. They're there to say, what the hell is going on in your home? Let's bring up our friend Amanda and bring up our friend Trevor and see what they have to say about this. Hello, Amanda. Hello, Trevor.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning. Hi, Trev.
Good morning. How are you guys?
All right.
Just battling these stupid sinuses. Me and OJ both are sneezing.
Yeah, the allergies are rough out here. I feel you.
Oh, yeah, I'm having the same problem. We have that pollen snow going on in Georgia.
What is it? Is it like the Bradford pears like we have here, or what flower is it? The dogwoods or what?
That's what I believe in, the daffodils or whatever, dandelions, if I can pronounce it right.
You got it. You got it, girl. Christina said, do we have the names for the 3 that dropped Trent off? No. And we don't have the names for the other people that are saying things happened to them in that home. So I'm going to start with Amanda. Amanda, what are you thinking?
I am beyond pissed.
Yep.
I feel like that's like yesterday when I was trying to say, yeah, I understand about the brother to a certain degree. I sympathize. But at the same time, if you get that instinct and you get that feeling that something's not right, that's why we have a mouth, to open our mouth. There were kids there this whole time, knew what was happening to Trent, knew.
And if you
didn't say a daggone word.
And if you don't feel safe opening your mouth, hit 911. They'll find the problem.
That's right. I mean, we all have our own stories of what we went through in life and whatever. I happen to have a big mouth. That's what it's used for, not only to eat, but to open up when you see things that are not right and wrong in life. And if you keep it shut, I mean, there's a difference. That one little time you open your mouth, you could save somebody's life. I mean, look how Gannon was treated.
Yeah.
Even while he was alive, even when he was alive, he wasn't shown no respect. Unalived, his body was moved here and there. God. And if that brother would have said one time, hey, I don't feel right. If I'm not going to open this suitcase, I can call the cops and let them open it. His body wouldn't have been thrown and dispersed over a bridge.
Yeah. Yeah. We're going to talk about that in the next show, too, because I think that Harley knew that there was something up with that suitcase. It makes me want to throw up. Then I go to
you can't
tell
why it pisses me off about Trent. because
Yeah.
all these people were there seeing him being pissed on, pooped on,
Mm-hmm.
alcohol down his throat, drugs, whatever. They all knew whether they helped in the situation or not. They should have opened their mouth and said, hey, this was going on. This has been going on besides Trent, all these others who've suffered.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I say, open your mouth. Something going on, open your mouth. You can make a difference in somebody's life, may even save a life.
Well, they can't do anything about what happened to Trent that night because they didn't do the right thing that night. We know that for certain. 3 people had a strike of conscience and they did get him to the hospital, which saved his life. That's the nicest thing I can say about them because he has long suffering injuries that are going to take a long time. We lost Trevor. That are going to take a long time to get through. That is for certain. They didn't say anything that night, but they can say something now.
Yes.
One of them can piece all of this together for the investigators. So I know a lot of people say, well, they have the picture. Sure, they do. They absolutely do. So they can arrest all 4 of them. Call it mayhem. I mean, I don't even know. Make up a charge. You still can't piece together who in this picture did what to him. That's the problem. They have to know who did what. Where did they get the vodka? Where did they get all the supplies, to be quite honest? Hey, Trev, talk to me, my friend.
Well, can you guys hear me? It dropped out for a second. I had to come
Yes.
back up. Okay. Wow. This case is, I mean, I don't know. I had to go back and look over things again, especially after you messaged me last night and really get an idea of what was going on because it's just, part of it's just unfathomable. It's like, how do you see these things going on, like Amanda said, and just not say anything? Like, to me, it's like silence is compliance in these kind of things. It's like same thing when something's going on with a child and you don't speak up and say anything. You're compliant in the fact that you're letting it happen and not putting a halt to it.
Yeah, they were there at the party. There's another video, another incident where he was in a chair again and they were spraying him with water. And they're aware, because if I'm aware, the police are more than aware that there are many incidences from this one house. I mean, my God. Here it is. This is the Strother home. This is from Brett Buffington. He said investigative unit can confirm that at least one of the attacks on Trent, now they know of others. Some of this stuff is backdated because we've been covering this. Happened at this St. Simon's Island home owned by James and Lauren Strother. The family also owns a hardware store on the island. When I called there today, I was told no comment. Sure, I'm surprised he got that far. I've said that before. So here you have this gorgeous home valued at way over $500,000. And well-to-do parents, they own a very successful business on the island. I don't know how well it's doing now. Yet their son Jackson is off the chain. What are they doing allowing all these kids over to the house? They're drinking. There's drugs involved. They're partying and they're torturing these kids. Trent is not the only one, but Trent is the biggest focus. I don't want to get it skewed. I mean, this is Trent after what one headline said, kids will be kids.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Trev. Sorry.
No, you're fine. The titling of this is just insane. The idea that it's hazing, the way that so many have titled this as just somebody being picked on or hazing. They almost killed the kid. I mean, there's no ends about it. That's what happened. They almost killed him.
By all accounts, he should be dead. If it wasn't for his age, he would be dead. 6 times the legal limits. I saw a clip from they call it felony hazing at the University of Missouri, Mizzou. Something similar to Trent happened there. The young man it happened to, I think he was 19, trying to get into a fraternity. This is not a fraternity situation. He's almost brain dead. He is blind. He is a vegetable. He can do nothing for himself. That amount of alcohol is lethal. Dolores said they tortured him. Thank you. This is not a hazing. No. This is ridiculous, is what this is. So for those that are not aware, just coming in like Circle Box. Now, this is an older clip. Since then, Trent has been released from the hospital. He's at a rehab in another state, but this gives you an idea of the timeline, and then we will get up to date.
Are learning new details about the apparent hazing incident of a Georgia teen after he was dropped off at a Brunswick hospital unresponsive 1 week ago today.
Video of the incident involving 19-year-old Trent Lehrkamp appeared on social media. The police report says he had a blood alcohol level 6 times the legal limit. So here's some of the events leading up to last Tuesday. This is according to the police report. In early March, Trent is taken to the ER for a cut to his left eye, needing stitches, but it's unclear what caused it.
Now, the report says on March 17th, the teen came home covered in WD-40, vomit, paint, glue, egg yolk, and spray paint. It's not clear if this is linked to the video on social media.
Then 4 days later, the night Trent would end up in the hospital, according to the police report, Trent's father spoke to his son, who said he was, quote, perfectly fine.
And then less than 4 hours later, 3 teens in a Jeep arrive at the ER with Trenton unresponsive in the back seat. The report says Trenton's clothes were soaked with urine and he had spray paint all over his body and hair. He had to be put on a ventilator.
Okay. Had to be put on a ventilator. They could smell urine. According to the police report, his father got a text or a call. I don't know what form of communication. I can't remember. That Trenton might be in the hospital. So he calls the hospital and they said, get here immediately. Parents' worst nightmare. Not, yes, we have him here, get down here. Get here immediately. He was going to die. These people in that house that were part of this event, in quotes, party, whatever you want to call it, they need to start talking fast. They have the rest of their lives to sort out their guilt for not doing anything that night. This is the right time now. Now, from what I'm being told, Trent and his family are 100% behind this investigation. They said justice will be served. How long is it going to take? It can get done today if just one of them doesn't care about being shamed by the others or maybe having to go to a different school. I don't know. Does the right thing. I don't know. What do you think, Amanda?
Yeah, they need to open their mouth, like I said before, and do the right thing. I mean, this can make a difference from it preventing somebody else this happening to. What if next time this happens and the person doesn't make it? You can make a difference now by opening your mouth, saying what happened that night, who was all involved. Period. I mean, this needs to be done, or it's going to continue to happen unless somebody stands up. Unless somebody stands up and does the right thing, it's going to continue to happen. Next time, the next person may not be so lucky to make it out alive.
Let me ask Trevor. Trevor, do you think if there's no arrests made and no accountability, do you think these young people have been scared and have learned their lesson just by the publicity, or do you think they'll continue in their shit ways?
I think it may stop them for a little while, but if there's no justice, then it leaves the public eye pretty quick. Unfortunately, there's so much that goes on in our country and our world that things will overtake this story real quick if this doesn't progress. So as soon as it does, they'll go back to their ways because they know beyond their terrible ways that they have that wall of protection in their parents. And that's only going to make things worse. I mean, it's like I know this is a more extreme example, I guess, but you look at the Murdaws that was just publicized to the world. And we saw how those kids thought they could do anything because they knew they could, because Alex would show up, or he and his dad would show up and fix everything. So it gives them that extra confidence, that evil confidence, to know that they can do whatever they want and get away with it.
Yep, Dina agrees with you. Dina said Trevor's absolutely right. As soon as this dies down, it'll just go back to normal for them. Their sense of normal. Britt says they won't stop. They'll just get smarter at not getting caught. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like they need to charge big and then work their way down, not the opposite. They're doing the opposite, where they're not doing anything and then they're going to work their way up. Throw everything you can on the table and scare these kids. There are real legitimate charges you could put on this, not misdemeanor hazing or some tiny charge. You can throw real things at this. He was restrained to that chair. That falls under false imprisonment. That's a felony.
Mm-hmm.
What they did to him falls under the attempted murder statute in Georgia. I was looking at this last night, and it's a really specific statute in Georgia, but aggravated assault is a lot more broad, and that would fall into this as well. So you've got multiple felonies that have years in prison attached to them that you could throw at these kids, and somebody would talk. If you told those kids that they have a real chance of going to prison for 15 years, for 12 years, they're listening. They're talking.
And that's what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid that they're going to wind up getting some kind of weak charge because they can't prove who did what. The kids won't talk. And because of, I don't want to say social media, public pressure, that they're going to wind up throwing just some charge on them. And it's going to be 10 years and they have 2 years of house arrest. That's what I'm really afraid of. I want them to pay for this, because Trent is going to pay for the rest of his life.
100% agree. And they should. They need to throw real charges at them and see, they can sit down with these kids and tell them, we're going to charge you with X, Y, and Z. And really, in reality, they probably don't have the necessary things to charge them all, at least in sense of getting it through a trial. But who knows, if you tell all these kids that one won't spill what actually happened, because some of them may hold. They may be like, oh, my parents will send an attorney, this will all be okay. But all it takes is one to be like, sorry guys, I'm not even risking going to jail for 15 years. This is crazy. I'll tell you everything that happened. Just don't tell my friends I did. And then suddenly you have a story.
Yeah, I 100% agree. That's why I was bringing up last time we talked about this, the domino effect. If you get one talking, like I said, they're going to get scared. And like Trevor said, they're not going to want to take the lapse of everything that happened that night. Slowly, they'll start opening their mouths. But they have to do something. They just can't sit there. I mean, I feel like they're just sitting there because they want it to fade. They want to sweep it under the carpet. They don't want nothing done because they're afraid of the money, the lining of their pockets that they're not going to get from their parents if they do something to their damn kids.
Mm-hmm.
And they need to charge these parents first and go from there. Go put these parents away for their role in this, and then go to these kids, because those kids have a lot less confidence in this when their call is to a person in jail and not to mommy at their $500,000 house. Their confidence goes a lot farther down when their one collect call goes down the hall to the other side of the jail.
I love that, and I couldn't agree more. Since the parents seem to be the problem in most of these cases, sorry, it's the truth. I don't mean anybody here, but the parents are the problem. This can only be solved at home. The police arrest, People go home. We know that. We know that's what happens. We have we definitely, I think we have a weak DA in this county. I hope I'm proven wrong. But we have this situation where an arrest was made. Edward Ruker Hobby, in the photo from Snapchat on the left, he's one of the people that tortured Trent. There's his mugshot from last November on the right. He's already on, the police already know about him. Nothing was done. Instead, you have his mother talking to WSAV saying he has a drinking problem. For the millionth time, no, he doesn't. He is 17. He doesn't have a job. He can't buy alcohol. He has a mom problem. He has a dad problem. And now here we are. Nothing was done about his situation in November. The police did what they do, but mom and dad did nothing. And now look where we're at. Now he could be looking at some real jail time. Why did Angela and his father not do anything in November when he got in trouble? He's got a mugshot. He's got the whole thing. Why was nothing done in November? Fast forward to March, Angela can't even have her real estate Facebook page up. Would it not have been worth it to deal with the little bastard back in November? And then you whine to WSAV and you say, he's got a drinking problem. What? He's not 42. He's 17. At home, Edward Ruker Hobby, his mom and dad could have gotten a hold of this in November, and I have a feeling March wouldn't have happened.
Yep. I 100% agree with that. I mean, he's 17 years old. Where in the hell is he getting the alcohol, Mom?
Mm-hmm.
Are you bringing it in? And you're allowing him to get into it? Then you helped and aided and abetted him into becoming an alcoholic.
Mm-hmm. He can't be one. He's not 21. He doesn't have a job. Somebody has to be buying it for him. Is it his friends? Well, then you keep his ass at home. You've got a good excuse. You already got in trouble in November. I can't risk that. For your future, for you, for me. You know, if I was the mother, for me, I have to make a living around here. Did he just get an alcohol problem, or was there a problem in November? There's such a thing called boot camp.
And if she felt he had an alcohol problem, why didn't she take him to somewhere then? Why complain and say something about it now when you could have taken care of the problem then?
Because now we have to backpedal because this isn't going to go away now. Too many people know. See, it's damaged reputations now, so it's already hitting where it hurts. They're not concerned about Trent. They're not even concerned about their own kids right now. They're concerned about themselves. Like I said, Facebook pages are coming down. A website was disabled. What are you going to do? You should have taken care of it in November. 10 calls were made to the House of Horrors. Why didn't they do something about it? Call one.
Yep.
But they didn't. And now everybody's upset. No. Things don't just happen they don't just escalate overnight like this. This is crazy. If you haven't seen it, this was a video they took from before the torture event. Warning, just letting you know, it's going to make you mad.
Get the back of his head. This is dude perfect. And we're watching off. Get the back of his head. Get the back of his head. This is dude perfect. And we're watching off. Get the back of his head. Get the back of his head. This is dude perfect. And we're watching off.
Disgusting. Right, Snow? Disgusting. They don't look at their phones? They don't know what they're doing on their phone? All of this could have been stopped months ago. What was Ma and Pa Strother thinking with the first phone call from the cops? Phone call 2, phone call 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Phone call 10 was Trent. And we're supposed to feel sorry for them? We're supposed to feel sorry for Angela because her son has a drinking problem? It makes me more mad knowing this has been going on for probably a year. I'm going to say about a year is when this started ramping up. There are no words for how wrong this is. How far back are the police having to go and investigate to figure out how many other victims? I'm mainly concerned about Trent, gonna be honest. I'm mainly concerned about him. But how far back are they having to go to piece all this together? Joy said, those kids need Jesus. Radio Gaga said, the drinking problem is convenient, don't you think? Kind of like the people that go to jail and find Jesus. The ones on the outside, when they get caught red-handed, they suddenly have an addiction or a mental illness. They were fine when they were pulling their shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when the 1,000 hammers is coming down on them, they crawl into the recovery or mental illness hole. Sick. Disgusting.
That's why half the world pleads insanity.
Don't you love it? And the thing is, they drag all these other people down with them. That's the thing. They drag all these other people down. Now, in this case, mom and dad need to be drugged down. They do. This is their responsibility. I'm not saying they did it. I'm not saying that they did it. But they knew they had a problem on their hands. Let's get to, we have another victim. We do not have the name. I don't want the name. Don't care about the name. This is not anything compared to Trent, but at least someone is talking to let the police know, the investigators know, that other things were going on in the home. Hold on.
Days since the last attack, Trent Lehrkamp, and no one is in jail, no one charged, and a frustrated community continues asking why. Meanwhile, the WSAV investigative unit has learned today Glenn County Police has opened a second investigation. It involves the home where the attacks on Trent happened. Lead investigative reporter Brett Buffington with his team back on the ground in Glenn County. So Brett, this new case was reported after Trent's.
It was, Tina, but police believe it came out after the social media post involving Trent Lehrkamp. Police believe it did happen before at least the latest attack on Trent, but it is another case with another teen victim linked to that same house.
This is the house Glenn County Police say they have been to 10 times in the last 7 months. Today, the county's police chief told us one-on-one many of those visits happened after Trent's attacks.
Okay, I stand corrected. So most of the times they have gone to the house have been after the attack on Trent. Okay. So before, why didn't they do something about it then? Before Trent's attack, why didn't they do something about it then?
Attracted so much attention. Officers were in the neighborhood, the chief says, proactively to keep the peace. Meanwhile, we've now learned another teen victim has complained to police she was shot by a toy bullet, known as an Orby, at the same house where police believe the attacks on Trent happened. The investigative unit now knows there are other police incident reports linked to one of the teens being questioned. We first showed you Edward Rooker Hobby's mugshot last week, the picture from a previous arrest for criminal trespassing. The teen seen here in this Snapchat photo with Trent Lehrkamp, who is seemingly unconscious.
Okay, so Edward is supposedly the one with the drinking problem. Now here's a question, and as parents, all you good parents in here, I'm sure you can relate. You know that kid that you tell your kids you're not gonna hang out with? That would be Edward. It was no secret in their community that Edward, well, nobody knew about a drinking problem, but that he had this issue with the law back in November. Why did the Strother family allow Jackson to keep hanging out with Edward? Did they think that Edward was innocent of his criminal trespass? Matter of fact, when the police arrested him, he was quite the punk with them.
It makes you wonder what kind of trouble the parents got in when they were younger. Because more than likely they got in trouble when they were younger, allegedly, and they got away with it because they come from money.
That's what I'm thinking, generational.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this isn't the 90s.
Yeah, they figure if, hell, I got away with doing this and that, go on, my child, go on. You're doing good.
Nope. So knowing that Edward has problems with the police, they allowed Jackson to keep hanging out with him. And these two are feeding off each other. Plus, there's other kids involved. They're dragging other people into it.
And clearly spray painted. Police here in Glenn County told us our request for those other incident reports involving Hobby would have to be reviewed by the county's attorney. Investigators continue to look over evidence in Trent's case, including items taken during a search warrant carried out at James and Lauren Strother's St. Simon's Island home the morning after Trent showed up at the hospital. So look, I asked the police chief here, is there anything new with Trent Lehrkamp's investigation? He told me simply his investigators are still working that case. Meanwhile, Trent continues to recover at that out-of-state treatment center, certainly for the emotional trauma that he went through in all of this. I talked with his family yesterday. They tell me Trent is still getting better, and him and this family still support this police investigation. We are live in Brunswick at Glen.
Okay, so the family, they support the investigation 100%. They believe that the investigators are going to get to the bottom of it, that the DA is going to get the firmest charges on the people involved, and good. If they have that peace of mind, I'm happy at least about that. Because I couldn't imagine with everything they've been through if they were screaming saying, they won't even take our statement. Could you imagine? They don't get a pass with me because it seemed to me for a while they were trying to sweep this under the rug. I still am very furious that it took, 10, 11 days to serve the first warrant on the Strother home. You gave them all those days to clean it up, but then they took all these items out. I wonder what they could have taken. Any guess from anybody?
I'm really not sure.
I'm thinking they didn't do nothing, really took nothing, because the parents probably disposed of majority of the evidence in that home to protect their kids, not only their kids, but their own asses.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's what I'm thinking too. What could they have taken? They said they took items from the home, unless you took, I hope they've rounded up all their cell phones by now.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping too. Maybe they found some bottles, alcohol bottles, maybe some torn pieces of tape and some of the trash that was on him. And you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, they should have collected a couple of adults while they were at it.
Yeah.
The two things I would have taken out of the house is the mom and the dad. shit rolls downhill.
Yep.
Yeah,
Stop.
and go for their money. Clearly, that's what they're using to protect this. Go for their money. Parents
Yep.
are responsible. There's a parental responsibility code to do with if your child is a minor and they commit these certain crimes, you're responsible for up to $10,000 in fines to pay for the crimes that were committed, like for medical expenses, and then you have to pay court costs per victim. So now we have Trent, obviously, and if there's multiple victims, do it for each. There's 30 grand without court plus court costs, straight out that way. Go for their money.
That's what I'm thinking. I really wish, and I mean, I'm sure they're on it. I'm sure they're on it because, I want this done, yesterday, if you know what I mean. It takes time, I get it. But I'm really waiting and hoping it happens soon for Trent, because he's of age. He doesn't need his dad to do it. To file a lawsuit. File a lawsuit against the Strothers. Hit their homeowners insurance and then above. He has a GoFundMe that people put together for him. He didn't ask for it. He was in the hospital. And this was put together by strangers. We have a noise. Sorry. Hang on. I don't know if it's a fan or what.
Nope, I don't have a fan on.
It's not on my end. All right. Anyway, there was a GoFundMe that was put together by strangers. Trent didn't ask for one. He was on a ventilator. Now, I hope that not one dime of that GoFundMe goes towards his medical, his therapy, or anything. All of that needs to be paid for by the ones that did it. And that includes their parents. Of course, that's just my opinion. I doubt it will go that way, but that's what I think.
All the kids that were involved in should be doing something anyway for the rest of his life. Whatever medical bill, whatever thing he has to go through because of this incident, they should have to cover. And I also would love if some lawyer would come around and do it for pro bono for Trent.
That's what I'm saying too. I doubt that will happen, but that would be nice. Or work on a contingency. They get, 20, 30% of what they collect. That's normally how they do it. Nothing up front. I work for free. If you get nothing, I get nothing.
Yeah.
Sue their parents off. 20% would be a lot. And Trent's family they'd come away with a lot. Those families clearly have a lot of money. Take them for what they have. And then give off your 15, 20% and use the rest to pay for what you need.
I mean, I feel he shouldn't have to have nothing come out of his pocket. I mean, like I said before, what person, if you ask them, hey, don't tape me, do you want to be taped to this chair? Who would say yes? Would you say yes, Brooke?
No.
Would you say yes, Trevor?
No.
Then what the hell? They held him hostage.
Yeah,
Why is somebody's ass not in jail? They held him without his will. He was held hostage. The parents were there. They didn't do nothing about it. They condone it. They're accessory to it. Why, along with the alcohol, why aren't there somebody's ass in jail right now?
That's what I'm saying. Because here's the picture. Somebody took this picture. You obviously have Trent, which is heartbreaking. You have 4 people standing behind him. But then I keep thinking, you have the Strothers. It's their home. Start with them and work backward. You can't tell me there's not something they can't arrest them on. Will it stick? I don't know. These people do have money. That's for sure. And their attorney will rip it up. Will rip it up. I mean, I would like to be positive and say I think they're just trying to build a really strong case, but you have other people coming out saying this has gone on in the house. You have pictures from inside the house. Supposedly, there was issues there before. There's gotta be something. Come on. Get on it. I think we have a weak DA. Elaine said, yeah, go after the parents first.
Yeah, it seems like a weak DA, but it's also like we've hit a point where decidedly we're weakening things in general. Like the picture of the way we charge people has completely changed. And we see like the ones that still operate like they should are the ones that make headlines. Like you see like the Florida sheriff that came out the other day, and spoke about the crimes that were going on there. That should be how they regularly speak, but it was put so much out there because it's not the way that things are treated anymore. And it works the same way with DAs. They're charging in weak cases in weak ways. They're going for the smallest charges. It's like you want to say justice, but not actually give justice. I mean, you give a misdemeanor charge. You could say you gave justice to Trent, but you didn't give him justice because he didn't receive what falls under a misdemeanor. So give justice instead of saying you gave justice.
Dolores said, I love that sheriff. I do too. And and a majority of us, because I'm sick of worrying about the peanut gallery. The majority of us were cheering on the sheriff. It's about time. I'm so glad that we finally have someone speaking it the way it is. And then he also said we have a great state's attorney. So that's their DA. That's what he calls it. Who isn't saying, nah, that'll fall apart. Nah, that kid's only 12 or whatever. He's going all in. He's balls deep. Now we have this DA. I don't know what smoking gun he's looking for, but my God. You want a storage unit? What do you want? It's ridiculous.
Some people are scared to file controversial cases. I mean, it's ridiculous. You got put in there to do the hard work, and you need to go in there and hold people accountable, even if it makes some of your rich friends mad or it puts you on national news for a little while. Doesn't matter. That's your job is not to control anything else besides holding people accountable for the crimes they commit in your jurisdiction. That's all you need to do.
And you said it. He may not want to make his friends mad. Alex just said it too. Alex, link is pinned. The DA doesn't want to make his friends mad. That could be part of it. Also, he might be waiting for all of this to die down to where they're not getting phone calls all the time. News Nation isn't talking about it every night. Brett Buffington isn't in his face every time he pulls in his driveway. He might be waiting for all that to die down and then do the charges. Then no one's paying attention, so we don't get pissed off. If he does it right now while everyone's talking about it, we go, what? Felony mayhem? And you're going to reduce it to a misdemeanor? See, we wouldn't know because we're not talking about it. That's why we have to talk about these things. What does it say?
Yeah, the more. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Go ahead, girl.
The more we talk about it, the more they won't have an opportunity for this to die. And something can be done if we keep using our voice.
Mm-hmm.
Like they always say, you see something, you say something. People need to stop carrying down to people with money or people who's well-known. We need to start making a difference and doing what we can for Trent and any others that come along.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm doing all I can do on this platform. Let me tell you, every time I think that I have like a break to catch up on something, damn, if one of the criminals misbehaves again. Alex, welcome. What a big treat.
Hello. Thank you for having me. And it's a treat for me too. Yeah, because I love your channel. I always love being here. And I've been following this, but I've got to admit I hadn't seen everything you showed. I think because of these trials, they've like taken over my life, and and I'm missing some of the other stuff. But like I didn't know that there were multiple times that this just happened 4 days before.
Yeah,
Oh my God, unbelievable.
I know. And yeah, the trials are taking up a lot of time, but American the American justice system is slow, but when they all decide to get shit done, it happens all at once. And
Yeah.
I go back to it, and I know I'm beating a dead horse and there's nothing you can do about it. The Monday morning quarterback thing. Can't be a Monday morning quarterback, okay? Really all you can do is take care of your own home. But this situation, like the situation we talked about on Monday, like the Kylie Rodney situation, like Sierra Rod, like Aiden Fucci, many of them we've talked about. This is a parental problem. Not saying that the kids shouldn't be held accountable or people, the young people. These parents are insane.
Yep. I agree. I mean, a drinking problem at 17, I'm sorry, but there's no way I could have had a drinking problem at 17, unless my mom was or somebody. No, there's no excuse for that. It's either the parents or people, the friends' parents. One of their parents are not no good and don't mind that, and that's ridiculous.
Yeah, oddly enough, alcohol didn't just show up at my door when I was 17 like a HelloFresh subscription.
Yeah. Well, now you got to be. Oh, sorry.
No,
Now
we're
you
just
got
laughing.
25 in some states to buy it.
It's no secret. It's never been tough for teenagers with alcohol. We all know it. Most of us had parents that were like, "Stay out of my booze. I better not catch you in that again. I know exactly how much is in there. I know
Yeah.
exactly how many cans of beer I have. I know exactly how much is in that bottle. You better keep your ass out of it."
Yeah.
And I guess we have parents now that don't do inventory because mine damn sure did.
Mine did too. I remember pouring water in there before to try to trick them, and they definitely knew.
I was about ready to say the same thing, Alex. I used to put water in there.
And your ass learned what justice was real quick if daddy came home and had a watered down drink.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes.
Not now. Not now. We have Angela, the realtor, who had to take down her Facebook page, who says, "Oh, he has a drinking problem." Not possible, you moron. It is not possible. May, thank you for becoming a YouTube member. Welcome, welcome. Gina Missy said, "Brooks and Alex at the same time? I'm in heaven." Me too.
Me
Aw.
3.
Me 4.
It's just absolutely beyond. And when they're making excuses for them, I understand your kid gets in trouble and you're not going to be like, "Look, I'm sending them to military school because they did something at school," because we know kids are going to test their boundaries. But when the popo shows up at your door and your kid gets a mugshot, it's time to lower the boom. But Angela did not do that. When the police came to the Strother home before everything went down in March, they didn't do anything. They let little Eddie with the drinking problem keep hanging out with little Jackson with the anger problem, and here we are. Why would you let your kid hang out with the problem kid? I don't care if they've been together since kindergarten. No, he's going down the wrong path. You're not going with him. You're not.
I don't know. I think that, I want to be, I want to let my kids have fun and stuff too. But when they're getting in this kind of trouble, that's the point where it's time to teach them a lesson because, like you said, they're going down the wrong road. What's next? What could have, and this could have went a lot worse. Imagine if Trent wouldn't have survived, you know?
I thought about that myself. Thank God he did. Thank God he did. I think had he died in that house, I think they would have covered it up even worse.
Oh yeah, 100%. Because then you're not looking at the potential charges of what we're going through. You're looking at murder. I mean, you would have a death on your hands.
Mm-mm-mm.
Why do you think the Murdaughs have covered up 4,000 deaths at this point? I mean, we look every other day and there's a new person that they covered up killing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And these are not isolated situations. Bad parents covering up for their kids, being friends with their kids. These aren't isolated situations, but we're seeing a lot more of it. A lot more. And it's we're not talking about spray painting the water tower, okay? We're talking about major violence. This, like I said, by all accounts, Trent should be dead. 6 times the legal limit. I can't believe he has all his faculties about him. I was afraid when they took him out of when he came off the respirator, the ventilator, I'm sorry. I'm like, he's probably going to be brain dead.
Awful. And wouldn't you think, like, if your kids were getting into this kind of trouble, I know for me, if one of these kids were mine, yeah, you don't want your kid to go to jail, but I would be really worried about their mental health. This is, if you think this is fun, if this is your idea, if this is how you treat your friends, something is severely wrong. I don't know.
You know, and not to kick up any controversy or anything, I'm just getting everybody's opinion on this. I know that, when asked for a comment, Trent's father does give one. We can't ask Trent to be on TV or anything. He has a lot of healing to do. The sister speaks on social media. And I know some people are saying, well, I can't believe his dad's not on TV all the time asking for justice. All I can make out of that is, this is just my opinion, that he's comfortable with what the investigators are telling him and how they are investigating this and what's going to be coming forth. Or would you be rattling? Would you be on the TV all the time saying, no, I won't believe it until there's an arrest?
Well, I feel like for him, it's also like there's two parts to it because he's also dealing with a son who's recovering from these terrible things, and he also wants to be there for, there's that extra part because thank God, Trent didn't lose his life, but if he would have, there would only be the pursuit of justice. But right now, it's taking care of your son and going after justice.
And maybe he's afraid of like upsetting them to the point where they won't do anything at all, and he's just trying to trust in, like you said, what they're telling him right now, and he's, waiting.
Right. And if we see the corruption, who knows what he sees there, living there.
Mm-hmm.
He's got to be worried about it. It's his son's case and it's his town that he lives in. I'm a lot more comfortable talking about it. I don't live there.
Exactly. Green Eyes, what is wrong with you? Green Eyes says, how many people are getting shot every day in Georgia? Y'all ain't talking about it. You want me to do a show about crime in Atlanta? How about Chicago? How about Houston? How about Kansas City? How about Dallas? How about Tulsa, Green Eyes? This show's about Trent. You can make a channel too. What are you talking about? This is about Trent. I don't have all day to talk about all the wrongs of the world. I barely have enough time as it is. All right, go ahead.
And you talk about a lot of them. You are busy. You are probably going to stream the trial. Are you doing that? And then you're trying to make time for Trent too. Yeah. So.
Yeah, get off my ass, Green Eyes.
Name another channel that I could be on panel with and be getting a notification that she's going live in 30 minutes. Yeah, that's what I thought.
I'm here. I'm here for it all day. Let me tell you what. Green Eyes, I love you, but come on. God damn.
Dylan Brooks, drop that mic.
I just got an FU. Green Eyes, I just said I love you. Lauren B just became a brand new YouTube member. Thank you, Lauren. Thank you. Don't pay any attention to Green Eyes. He'll be in a good mood by the next show, I promise. All right, before I start winding it down, I'm going to play the clip again just to, let everybody see that Trent is recovering. He did speak for himself. And He says justice is coming. Let's look at that.
Year-old who survived a horrific attack in Georgia. The acts posted on social media torture. News Nation obtaining the exclusive audio message tonight and new information. The teen has been discharged from the hospital. He's now receiving care at an out-of-state treatment center. Well, it has been 12 days and still no arrests. He was hosed with water, bound in a chair, covered in spray paint, and then dropped off by teams at the hospital where he entered the ICU. Brett Buffington with our News Nation affiliate in Georgia has the message Trent is sending tonight.
Hey, everybody.
For the first time since we heard his story, we are hearing from Trent.
Thank you for all the wishes, support, and caring. I'm alive and doing well.
After days in this Georgia hospital, a visit that started on a ventilator, Trent has been discharged.
Just know it's going to be a long time for me to get over this through the trauma. But one day, hopefully within the next few months or so, I might be back.
This family today telling me Trent is supporting the Glenn County Police investigation of the attacks he went through, saying Trent is a kind and loving person who was taken advantage of. This photo was taken Saturday of Trent heading to an out-of-state care center as he continues to deal with the understandable emotional damage. Trent ended his short message with a strong promise.
But justice will be served.
Police in Glenn County continue their investigation. Now, 12 days later, no one has been arrested. Brett Buffington reporting for News Nation.
And still no one arrested. They said don't expect any arrests this week. Trent is saying justice will be served. But I go back to this. Trent cannot be the only one talking because Trent is incapacitated. Trent was passed out. The other people that were there are going to have to piece it together for the authorities. This is who put him in the chair. This is who kicked him. This is who got the spray paint. This is who held his head. This is who poured the vodka. You don't have anybody in there with 8 arms. You're going to have to piece it together for them. You can't go back to March 21st and stop it. But you can help get justice for him now.
Yep. That was awesome to see him go, him like that. And the fact that he wants justice too. Like that is, I don't know. I'm happy to hear that because you never know. Sometimes these situations, they want to fit in with the crowd so much. I mean, I don't know. The fact that he accepted being treated like that is so sad.
I was really afraid when he started talking that he wouldn't say anything. But since he says there will be justice, good. I'm glad he has that strength. And I love seeing in the chat the hashtag Trent Strong, justice for Trent. I want him to see the positive. I couldn't imagine.
I mean, I'm sorry. He went through so much, not only losing a mom, but both grandparents.
Mm-hmm.
And all he wanted was somebody to love. And I'm sorry, he was hurt and broken, and he just wanted somebody to mend that hurt in him. The loss of his mom. I lost my mom and I lost my dad.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, for him to lose his mom and grandparents at the same time, I mean, he had to deal with one heartbreak, trying to heal from losing his mom and then his grandparents at the same time. And he just went to these people who are actually monsters and just wanted to connect and be loved and heal from the hurt that he lost. And this is what they do to him. And by golly, if he can go through all that torture and pain and all that bullshit they put him through, I mean, why can't we continue to be a voice for his justice and not let it in?
I love that. I love this hashtag. I'll be Trent's friend. This is I was going through some posts. He lost his mama. I lost my mom young, not as young as Trent. This is from his mom's Facebook. Her name was Jamie Lehrkamp. Tagged Trent. She tagged his sister, and she said, "Time for bed. What time should your kids go to bed?" She tagged him in it because she's a caring mama. Obviously, his guardian angel. By all accounts, he should have died, and that's what he lost. He lost his mama. Thing.
That
And he
is
just
so sad.
I know.
I was wondering if he was like a mama's boy or if a mama's baby, and by that post it kind of makes you think he probably was.
Mhm.
We
It's
have to be loud. We have to keep doing this. We have to keep speaking about it until something is done. We can't just let it stop and them get away with it, because next time it's going to be somebody who ends up being unalived.
And I agree. If this story dies down, and that's probably what they're waiting on, and then they're going to file some bullshit charges, they're going to go home with an ankle monitor, and the next time somebody won't be, I hate to use the word lucky, they won't be alive. Let me put it that way. It's a bad, bad, bad situation. All right, guys, I'm going to wind this down. I will see you back here in about 18 minutes, 17 minutes. Is everybody going to be back?
Thank you for having me.
Hey, let's make it a habit, my friend.
Yes, I'm so down for that, and I would love to have you on over at mine too. That'd be great.
And let's all thank Amanda. She brought this story to us. I had no idea, and I've been up her ass sideways ever since because it makes me so mad. So let's pray for Amanda too, because she has
Amanda.
me all the time about this.
Oh, I thank you. I mean, to me, like I've said to both of you, y'all are tops to me. I mean, y'all both have the most compassionate, biggest hearts, and I'll support you and do whatever I can to make y'all's voice be heard.
And I think if we sweet talk Trevor, I have a feeling he will do a show with a different perspective on his channel about Trent. We have to say pretty please, Trent. Not Trent, Trevor.
Pretty please.
Oh yeah.
Pretty Trev. Amanda, thank you so much. Thank you for trying to connect me and Brooks, and thank you for being so supportive and caring and truly caring about the people that we talk about and stuff. Yeah, I appreciate it, and appreciate you, Brooks. I love your channel, and yeah, I'm gonna go, and I'll see you guys later today.
All right, see you guys in a few minutes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Amanda. And let's all please thank Green Eyes for telling us in chat that there are shootings in Georgia. Nobody knew until Green Eyes came into the chat to let us know that there's other crimes in Georgia besides what's going on with Trent. So Green Eyes has served a purpose today too. You know we love you, Green Eyes. All is forgiven. I'll see you guys back here in a few minutes. Gonna cover the trial. You know how it goes. Maybe Green Eyes will come join us, and he's going to let us know there's other crimes in Colorado besides what happened to Gannon. I just have a feeling. All right, I'll see you guys back here in a few minutes. You're the absolute best. I love the hashtag. I'll be Trent's friend. You guys are all my friends, and I'll see you in a minute.